Hello, everyone. It's Gunnar here. Welcome back to the Solution to Everything with yours truly. This is going to be episode 3. We're going to be just recapping the other 3 episodes, and then we're going to be introducing to you the STAR Command, which is this organization that I've created here that's going to help us organize and utilize all the principles that are encoded in and within this podcast to ascend, to get into your heart, to get into unity consciousness, and to free your mind. The coolest part about this is that each person that is unified or is within their heart or is ascended, they actually multiply that effect by at least 10 times. So the more people we get together, the more that we can influence the collective energy, the collective consciousness into a unified state. Let me just be real clear here. That is what is going on. There's a multiple dimensions, multiple layers of occurrences and instances right now. But this podcast is going to facilitate some of the energetic principles, i.e. quantum physics, things like that, energy, to get you used to hearing these terms, because without this knowledge, it's going to be quite difficult. Okay? So let's go ahead and dive into it, first by inviting spirit in. Let's call upon the angels, guides, animal spirits, fairies, unicorns, all the beings of the inner and outer earth, the benevolent ETs, this galactic federation of light. So invite this energy, this source in to guide this session today. And that I just pray that I be a clear channel for this information to come through without any bias. Or hesitation. All right. Okay, so now that we're all clear, let's go ahead and recap from the previous session. So one of our first principles is everything is energy. So it's important to understand, from inanimate objects to living things, everything in existence is an energetic signature, contains an energetic signature. And what that means, how energy is created, is we have our neutrons and our protons in the center of an atom, and then around that, the electrons oscillate. And the rate at which they oscillate creates vibration or speed. And from that, you get things like frequency, amplitude, things like that. So the higher the rate, the higher the rate of the oscillation, the higher the vibration, the lower the density. Let me repeat that one more time. The higher the rate of the electron spinning around the nucleus of the atom, the higher the vibration, and then the lower the density. Okay, let's revert that. The slower the speed of the oscillation, all right, the higher the density and the lower the vibration. So low or high, low vibration, high density. Kind of get a little bit mixed up. So low vibration, high density. How we can use that in practical terms is we can associate emotions like joy, love, gratitude, etc., with low density and high vibrational frequencies, high vibrational states of awareness. And we can associate things like anger, hatred, fear is a major factor right now. It's a consciousness level. We can associate that with lower vibrations, slower oscillation, and a really dense, density, high density. So very high density, okay? So we also talked about, well, what does that mean? You know, why does that have any importance to me right now? It's because right now we're all being put in a very high density fear consciousness state. And what we need to do is raise our vibration, i.e., use that frequency, use that knowledge to raise our vibration to a whole new different awareness, a whole new different perception, and a whole new dimensional state, or a density state. So we're at a high density, low vibrational state when we're in fear consciousness. And when we eat well, when we take care of ourselves, when we meditate, when we really get to the core sense of who we are, to the source of who we are, we raise our vibration. And you can think of it as little levels, like little musical notes. And there's little stops. So to get to the next stop, we need to raise our vibration enough so we get out of this fear frequency, this high density state, and into this low density state, high vibrational state. Once we're in that low density state, our perception and our awareness starts to shift, and it starts to magnetize towards a collective heaven on earth. This is the ascension. Do not make any mistake about it. You are a smack dab in the middle of one of the greatest experiences ever in the universe, and to be human is quite an enormous feat right now. Chances are, if you're listening, you are probably pretty aware of something similar to this. You're seeking truth, and you're understanding that whatever is going on out there, something's not right. You know something doesn't feel just quite right. So you're searching. You're probably at a couple different levels right now, and that's okay. But this message is geared for you to help you jump to that next level. This is the knowledge and the information that you need to get there. Okay? So let's recap a little bit more. We also talked about the double slit experiment, which I won't get too into it, but it scientifically proves that the observer affects the experiment. So the researcher affects the experiment. Whoa, there's a lot of implications in that. All we need to understand, and if you want to, just go ahead and research the double slit experiment, which will totally evolve science and humanity forever once we fully embrace the experiment and once it's fully out there in the public to understand and to utilize. Basically suggesting that the observer is influencing the experiment, or the observer is influencing the reality. In energetic terms, we, the observer, the energetic signature, are kind of shifting the energy around us as soon as we are observing it. It's quite a big leap in understanding of the reality itself. What does that mean? It means that your beliefs, your thoughts, your emotions, they all affect the reality, and they all get attracted to you. So that law of attraction. Okay? So your goal, your job here as a light worker, as a ground crew, is to raise your vibration enough to get to a higher density state. And that really is the ascension. We're here to lift humanity up. Chances are there's probably a small percentage of light workers, people who are able to do this, people who incarnated onto the earth right now at this very specific time to do this specific mission, just to help pull earth and the rest of humanity up with it. So that brings me to the whole entire intention of this talk today, which is the Star Command. This is the Star Command. This is the central organization piece to the factions of light, to the Galactic Federation. When I approach my higher self, I'm commanding the generals of the light crew, the light workers. What we need is organization, understanding, knowledge, wisdom, and a joining under one principle, but really many principles. I feel that the greatest principle that we can probably all agree on without getting too complex or complicated is that we're all one being, and we're all here to facilitate and assist each other. Now, where it goes from there is another story. Okay, so this is the official installment. This is the official creation of the Star Command. I've been doing this for a couple years with myself and a very select few number of people. And it really applies all back to that principle of joining together and that we are all energy. So one person has a certain influence on the reality itself. Two people, when they join together, they oscillate at a stronger frequency. They impact the reality 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times, tenfold than that one person. 3 people, 4 people, 5 people, it goes up. It goes by incrementally 10 times. So if you have 3 people meditating on love, that equates to about 1,000 people. If you have 4 people, that's about 10,000 people, etc., etc. So this is kind of like a covert mission, maybe in the beginning, and as we gain steam, as we gain momentum, I envision that the entire reality and the entire collective humanity will be existing in this state, this density, and this level of awareness. But for now, we as the light workers and the light crew will be facilitating this. Okay? So I feel like that's probably enough for now. So we can go ahead and wrap it up. The STAR Command is this organization that revolves around the central principle that we are all one, and its mission and its purpose is to recruit and gather light beings to join and unite in the factions of light, to meditate and to join under love and gratitude to facilitate the ascension. Via that quantum physics, that 10 times incremental rule. So something really cool to add to help your logical mind understand what I'm talking about is research was actually done from 2008 to 2011, 2012. I may not be hitting those numbers exactly right. But that research was conducted out in, I believe, Iowa under the Maharishi meditation, transcendental meditation movement. What they did was they basically meditated in a group. They needed to hit a specific goal, a number of people to meditate, to influence the reality, the collective, in a massive global scale. And yes, they successfully did that. You can look that article up. I highly recommend it. What they did was, throughout that 3 to 4 year period, they gathered research that showed that the crime rates in Chicago and surrounding areas actually diminished by around 75%, as well as homicides, etc., etc. Basically proving that this quantum principle really does work and really is a great non-violent way to facilitate this movement and this ascension. Okay, so thank you guys for listening. I hope to see you all next time. Have a great one.